Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're cracking open the secret playbook that decides why some sports products become legends and others just fade away. Let's get right into it.
I mean, have you ever really wondered why some sports gear just becomes legendary? You know, the stuff you see everywhere for years and years.
And then you have the others, the ones that are hyped as can't miss, the next big thing, and they just, poof, strike out completely. Well, let me tell you, it's rarely just luck. There's actually a hidden playbook, a secret strategy that manages a product's entire life, from a spark of an idea all the way to becoming a classic.
And hey, sometimes that first idea is kind of out there. Take a look at this. This is bossable. It's like volleyball, soccer, and gymnastics had a baby on a giant trampoline. It's the perfect example of that, whoa, what is that moment? But it brings up a really important question. What does it even mean for a product to be new?
Yeah, let's dig into that, because the answer isn't as straightforward as you'd think. You know, the source material for this explainer puts it perfectly. New is a totally relative term. Think about it this way. Let's say you finally buy season tickets for your favorite team for the very first time. Now, those tickets have been around forever, right? But for you, that's a brand new product, a whole new experience.
And that right there, that gets to the heart of it all. When we talk about innovation, there are really two sides to the coin, two completely different ways of looking at what's new. There's the company's point of view, and then there's your point of view, the customer's.
Okay, so check this out. From the organization's perspective, the question is simple. Is this new for us? Are we making something we haven't made before? But from your perspective, the consumer's perspective, the question is totally different. It's, does this thing change my behavior? Do I have to learn something to use it? And that gap right there between those two questions, that's everything. That's where products live or die.
So for a company, new can be something as simple as a product improvement. Think about an Air Jordan 10 retro sneaker. I mean, the shoe itself is old news, right? But this specific re-release, that's a new product for them. And wow, is it a good strategy. A release like this pulled in $35 million in one day.
But for us, the consumers, the really new stuff is what we call discontinuous innovation. A perfect example, the first ever X Games. That wasn't just a new event, it was a total shift in behavior. You had to learn about brand new sports, get to know totally new athletes. It created a whole new culture around watching sports. Now that is a powerful kind of new.
So, okay, whether we're talking about a sneaker re-release or a whole new crazy sport, how does an idea actually get from someone's head to the store shelf? Well, that's where the product development playbook kicks in. And trust me, it's a very specific step-by-step process.
It's basically a 6-step funnel that an idea has to survive. You start really wide with idea generation, spitballing, anything goes. Then, bam, you hit idea screening. And this is where most ideas die. It gets narrowed down fast. If an idea makes it through, it goes to concept analysis, where they actually ask people like you and me, hey, would you buy this? If the answer is yes, then you get to the real work, product development, a small test market run, and then, if all goes well, commercialization, the big time. Let's zoom in on that idea screening part for a sec. This is where it gets real. Companies use these super detailed checklists to take the emotion out of it. They're asking hard questions, like relative advantage. Is our idea actually better than what's out there? Or compatibility. Does this even fit into how people live their lives? An idea has to get a high score, say over 70, just to get a go to the next phase. See? It's not magic. It's a system. All right, so imagine an idea makes it through that whole tough process. It launches, it's out in the world. You'd think that's the end of the story, right? Nope. That's just the beginning. Now the product starts its own career, and you can think of it like a game with 4 quarters.
The official term for this is the product life cycle, or PLC for short. It's just a map, really, of the 4 stages every product goes through, from the day it's born to the day it's pulled from the shelves.
And this graph right here shows you that whole career in one picture. That top line, that's sales. The bottom one, that's profit. And you can see how they both climb up and then eventually come back down through those 4 stages we just talked about: introduction, growth, maturity, and decline.
So first quarter, introduction. Think of this as the product's rookie year. Sales are pretty slow. And profits? They're usually in the red because of all the money spent on the launch. The only goal here is to get noticed. Get your name out there and just get people to give your product a shot.
Then, if you're lucky, you hit the second quarter, growth. This is the breakout season. Sales just take off. A perfect example?
fantasy sports. As soon as it hit the internet and became easy to play, participation just exploded. We're talking a surge of over 60%. This is when you know you've got a hit, and it's also when all your competitors start paying very close attention.
All right, third quarter, maturity. Your product is now a seasoned vet. It's a household name, but sales start to level off. Why? Because the market's saturated. Pretty much everyone who is going to buy your product already has. So the game totally changes. It's no longer about growth. It's about defense, holding on to your market share as everyone else tries to take a piece of it.
And then comes the final quarter. Decline. Sales start to drop off. Maybe tastes have changed. Maybe something better came along. At this point, most products just retire. They get discontinued. Or they try to reinvent themselves. But the really smart brands, they can play this last quarter like a genius. They might even limit supply on purpose, turning that decline into exclusivity. It's a total power move that can create a legend.
Okay, so we've been through the whole playbook, from idea to retirement. So what does it all boil down to? What really separates the legends from the ones we've all forgotten? It often boils down to these 5 critical things. First, can people try it out easily? That's trialability. Next, can people see other cool people using it? That's observability. Is it obviously undeniably better than what's already out there? That's relative advantage. Does it just fit into your life? That's compatibility. And finally, does the price tag match the quality? Get those 5 things right, and you've got a real shot.
So here's the big takeaway from all of this. A legendary sports product is almost never just a lucky break. It's a game plan. It's a deliberate, calculated strategy that runs from day one, from that first crazy idea all the way to the end of its life. So there you have it. You've seen the playbook. You know the stages, the strategies, the keys to winning. Now, the next time you see some brand new piece of gear or a new sports league launch, you won't just see the product, you'll see the game plan behind it. Which makes you wonder, doesn't it? What's going to be the next big play?